At what age should you get your kids their own cell phone? What's up, social world? ¿Qué tal, mundo social? Mr. Mom here with another video regarding kids and cell phones. Now, when my kids were growing up, they basically were kind of growing up with the cell phone. I was already a young adult, basically, when I first got my my first cell phone. Before that, when I was a teenager, I had a pager. But then comes the kids, and then comes the divorce, and I needed a way to communicate with my kids without having to go through baby mama. And some of you can relate to this. I'm not saying all women are bad. In my particular case, baby mama just looked for every opportunity to argue, to fight. She's actually diagnosed by a psychiatrist that she is addicted to fighting. So, anyway, I had to get my kids some way of communicating with me without baby mama getting involved. So I got the kids, 2 kids, but I only gave it to one. I gave it to my daughter. My son is a slow learner. He has borderline Asperger's and ADHD. So the logical choice was to give it to my daughter, even though she's younger, but girls do develop faster. They can mature faster. So gave it to my daughter. It was a cell phone that had basically 5 buttons on it. The buttons were 1, 2, 3, 4, and an emergency button. Say that 5 bunch of times. So 1, of course, was me. 2 was mom. 3 was my good friend and neighbor across the street, and 4 was their godfather. So that's all they really needed. My daughter was like 7 years old at the time when she got it. I would get nice, like, they're phone holders, but like necklaces. So she'd just hang it around her neck, and she just got used to it. And therefore, I'd call my kids, and my daughter would answer, or my son would answer, either or. That way, I was always in communication with them. But nowadays, you can still find those type of phones. I, in fact, still have it. Is through Verizon. I may sell it one day. I don't know. I still have it. But nowadays, all the phones are, are mini tablets. They have all kinds of functions and stuff like that. And some can be cheap, some can be cheap. Of course, the kids always want the best. But at what point do you get your kids a phone? That could be a tough one. But it could also be taken advantage of, showing a bit of responsibility. Not allowed to use the phone while they're at school. If they get taken away, you're not going to go get it immediately. That's what happened once my kids were older. The smartphones started coming out. If they got taken away, I took a couple of days to go get their phone. Because they make a parent go and get it, so the parent knows what's going on. But so how old nowadays? Nowadays with technology, 2019, technology is everywhere. I see a bunch of babies playing with their parents' phone. Most parents, to calm the kids down, to keep them busy, give them their phone. So at what point does a kid get their own phone? How old should they be before they get their own phone? Well, that's going to depend on each situation. On each child is different. Each parent is different. But I'd say mostly based on the child, responsibility of do they lose things. My daughter never lost her phone. as far as I remember, she never lost her phone. So, you know, when it came time to upgrade, it's time to upgrade. She has broken her phone, but I think she started breaking her phones at the point where she was already responsible for her own phones, when she started buying her own phones. No, I did have to replace her phone once, I believe. Same with my son. But I replaced them with cheaper phones, I believe, to teach them responsibility. I'm not going to reward them with something better for not taking care of their stuff. It costs us money, costs us time and effort away from our kids to get them that stuff. Well, they should take care of that stuff. So at this stage, you know, if you have to pick them up from school and stuff like that, I mean, we always had a designated spot to pick them up, to pick up my kids. They knew where to go. I always knew where I was going to pick them up. They always knew where to go to pick them up. It was a done thing. Never had to call around and say, "Where are you? What are you doing?" Unless they were detention or after-school project, or you know, or calling me to ask, "Dad, can I go to my friend's house?" or something like that. You know. Other than that, we always had a designated spot. So the cell phone is not needed for that particular case. You could always go to the office and ask the school to call your parent, and they'll do that for you. Even teachers nowadays pass the phones to let them borrow the cell phones, and a lot of schools used to have phones within the classroom anyway. But you know, once they start showing responsibility, do you get them the iPhone 10? I wouldn't. I get them an older version, maybe a 6, 5, you know, whatever, a cheaper one. Start building them up as every year, build them up a newer model. Now, if they're able to save the money and everything, and get their own phone, then that's their own phone. If an auntie, a grandparent, or something like that wants to get them a phone, let them get the phone for them. But they're responsible for their own phone. And if you have to replace it, you're going to replace it with the cheaper one. At least that's my opinion. Anyway, let me know your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your family and friends, and I'll see you around.